The Beast, Brock Lesnar, SmackDown Invasion, and Braun Strowman wrecks up the place. All that and more on Frog Splash Live.
And it starts right now.
Welcome to Frog Splash Live, the show where real fans review wrestling. I'm Tyler Hendrickson, and across from me, as always, DC, David Christopher, my cousin, and special guest on FaceTime audio, my good friend, Corey. What's up, Corey?
Yo, what up, everybody? How's it going?
We're so happy to have you here. I love David and everything, but...
Jeez. Calling me out.
No, this was a Raw filled with twists and turns. This was the Raw before Survivor Series, so they have to really hype up the pay-per-view. Really interesting, though. Before the show starts, it opens with a little Veterans Day intro, of course. Shout out to the veterans. That's a very touching video.
Agreed.
Every time I just see like a veteran something for America, I just always tear up a little bit, and that really had me tearing up a little bit.
It gets you gassed up for the show. Some pride flowing. And Kansas City, baby. So the show opens like with the match basically already started. Everyone's in the ring. It's for the tag team team captain spot.
But it was a battle royal with all the tag teams in it. But it was looking pretty good at first.
But tag team battle royals are interesting because you throw one of the opponents out and the whole team's out.
I don't like that.
Yeah, I wish they kind of both had shots, but But unexpectedly, here's the first twist of the night of many. Braun Strowman comes out and wrecks up the place.
For me, this was a fun twist. But we've seen this before.
Yeah, for sure.
That was, I guess, my biggest gripe with this is I want them to do something. I really wish they would build a tag division, but that's a whole nother debate for a whole other time.
I agree. I completely agree with that.
Yeah, like every time I feel like they get somewhere with their tag division, they immediately tear it right back down. But when it comes to Braun Strowman, I've seen this. Been there, done that with, honestly, stronger opponents. So... for me, watching him rip up the tag teams, I'm like, okay, well, he did that.
That's exactly what David and I said. Like, we were like, okay, he just squashed the whole tag division. He just buried the whole tag division,
Yeah, RIP tag division.
The whole tag team division can't keep up with this guy.
Press F to pay respects.
And I wish if you're going to go that route, I don't want to see Braun be able to get backstabbed by somebody like Baron Corbin. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's so inconsistent, their message with Braun. I love who he is as a character. I love that he's like this wrecking machine that is just, the big bad guy, or good guy, depending on what they have him doing.
He can flip a truck.
He can flip a truck and an ambulance and tear down a wall.
No problem.
But he gets beat so easily by Brock Lesnar.
Brock Lesnar can have 5 of them. They can be over in 5 minutes.
It just doesn't make sense, right?
No, it makes very little sense to me, and it's just I don't think they know what to do with Braun because they want to put a title on him, but at the same time they want that sweet UFC money that they're going to get in January, February when Brock Lesnar fights Daniel Cormier at the last match of Cormier's career. So I know they want the WWE title in that ring, even if Brock loses. Because it's a title that would then be associated with one of the greatest UFC fighters of all time. Mm-hmm. So I get from a money perspective why they put it on Brock, but you have to protect Braun more, and you also have to protect your tag division. What are you doing?
This is a question for you and David, Corey. So, because I don't really watch UFC too much, does Brock bring the WWE Championship in the ring with him?
He never had it when he was going into a fight.
Correct. I was going to say the few times that he fought, he wasn't actually the champion.
Oh, okay.
But when he fought at UFC 200, he was still under contract with the WWE at the time. So Vince had to allow him, and like the WWE had a little bit of co-promotion in that pay-per-view. So it's one of those things where you have to imagine, considering that Brock, I believe, is in contract through next year with them. I don't remember what his specifics are.
Yeah, I think it's like another year fight.
WWE is going to get a sweet piece of that pie.
No, for sure. But as this is all going down, the crowd is like, everyone is saying like, get these hands. So the guy's over. They just need to find the right spot for him.
I agree.
So after he destroys the Raw, the tag team division, he gets a chair, sits down in the ring, calls out Baron Corbin.
Classic Triple H move.
Saying, I'm not leaving Hoss until Baron Corbin gets these hands.
Come on, Hoss.
But then Stephanie comes out Great theme song, by the way. I love her theme song.
Stephanie's a boss. Come on.
I agree with that.
So she comes out and she tries to kind of reason with Braun, and she kind of makes a deal with him because he's making all these demands. He's like, I'm not a meat castle. I know when I'm trying to get manipulated. But she's like, Braun's like, if I join the Raw team and win, I guess, then I want to have Corbin in a match of my choice. And she's like, okay, we'll talk to the lawyers. We'll get it worked out. And he wants a rematch with Brock for the championship.
But I really like this because, like, Stephanie's sounding like Raw needs to win. Like, she'll do anything for that win for Raw. And I really like that because that gets me hyped up for the pay-per-view.
To Corey's point, though, this does feel like a lot like a replay. Because wasn't this very similar last year for Survivor Series? Like, Braun came in and kind of...
Yeah, I don't think they have a choice. I think they have to retread because Roman's hurt.
Yeah.
You don't have that storyline, or not hurt. He's battling leukemia, and
Yeah.
you know, as an aside, may he recover speedily and get back to the ring as soon as possible.
We hope. Yep.
But it's one of those things where you're having to retread certain storylines because you have to imagine that's a hole.
They didn't
You know
expect
what I'm saying?
that. Yeah, they have to regain quick.
Yeah, or you would hope that they could do a couple quick things and it would, he'd put it into remission really quickly. But it's one of those things where now you have this hole in the top of your roster, and there isn't a definitive baby face that they've established that can take it over. I think they're trying to maneuver a couple of people. Like Elias could be that guy.
Right.
It seems like Seth seems like the heir apparent right now, but then they have him feuding with
Yeah,
Dean,
that's
which
kind
is
of
just...
Yeah.
takes them out of that.
But to the point at hand, because I could wander and rant all night. To the point at hand, I do like seeing Stephanie in a more measured, conniving role. I don't like her when she's full on power tripping and slapping superstars around. So what are you gonna do? Slap your boss back? That worked once with Austin. Like, and when Punk and John Cena were fighting John Laurinaitis, that kind of worked.
Yeah,
But
right.
at this point, it's the tired retread. So I like it when she's that authority figure, but not when she's, putting hands on employees and getting uppity and tearing down everybody. Like, I agree with Dave. I think that it was really cool to see her power bargain with, everybody and be like, okay, I will totally get you what you want, but you have to get me what I want. And I love that dynamicism.
Yeah.
Because it also, if he fails, if Raw loses to SmackDown,
Well,
she can come in and be like, you owe me.
Well,
I never-
Braun already said what happens if he gets cheated out of these deals. He's going right to headquarters and wrecking up the place. He's gonna flip the whole building this time, Corey.
Yeah, but oh my God, that would be
No problem.
that would be so much fun.
You look-
I hope they end up getting a new headquarters at some point.
Right.
And, like, in
Just
the
have a video of him
they
flipping.
have Braun, like, in 10 years, like, just wrecking through the place. That'd be so good.
You can just run through it, dude.
Oh, so good.
Just
We'll see. I honestly, who won? Was it Raw or SmackDown that won the men's 5-on-5 last year?
Raw. This is
Okay.
they won 2 years in a row.
yeah.
Okay. I feel like SmackDown is due for an upset. Mainly because I don't see AJ Styles winning, and we'll talk about this later. But AJ Styles is facing Brock Lesnar, and I don't see AJ beating Brock with, again, that UFC fight on the horizon. I think they're going to protect Brock at all costs.
Yeah, David and I were kind of talking about that a little bit. Yeah, we'll talk about that a little later.
So then Ronda Rousey comes out, which I was not expecting that. And she just wants to fight. And wait, no, does Baron Corbin come out before or after?
No, he
He came out after. He came out after to try and make the peace.
right.
Okay.
Yeah. He's making the piece there.
Yeah.
The constable.
Because Ronda came out and, like, was basically like, I want to fight somebody.
Right.
I want to tear Becky Lynch apart, but maybe I don't have to wait till Sunday because, Stephanie, you're right here. I'm going to break that arm was the implication.
She's
And
full of
Baron
gas.
Corbin comes out, yeah. Baron Corbin's like, whoa.
Right. And we don't know who the team captain is for the tag match because it just got totally interrupted. And I was wondering, like, what are they going to do with this? Are they going to, like, restart the match? But the show just kind of moves on. So I was like, okay, well, I guess we're not going to know that. More on that later, though. They did restart the match.
Fact.
Yeah.
They did.
After a couple sweet commercial breaks, then we have Ember Moon versus Tamina with Nia Jax. And Tamina is sort of new to me.
Well,
Katie, you go first. I'm
right.
about to go full heel here. So
Tamina's been in the company for a long time.
On NXT, right?
No, like before NXT. This was like back in like 2010 with like the Usos when they first came in. And Tamina never really stuck with me, and I don't think she really stuck with the crowd. Like she would just pop up randomly and stuff, and I'm just like, oh, so they want me to buy into Tamina being this like badass, but she's here for like a week and then she's gone for like 2 months. And then
So it's more
back.
like the inconsistency with her that doesn't allow her to kind of develop.
I mean, I like how she's portrayed as a badass and everything, like a tough person, and I really like that because I feel like they need more like that on the women's division. Like her and Nia Jax together, that's really good. So I hope they keep building her up and not just have her here until the end of Survivor Series and have her go away again.
Go ahead, Corey.
Dave had it right on the head. When Tamina came in, they didn't have as many athletic women on the roster as they did good-looking girls having 5-minute matches.
Sure. Yeah. Right.
So you had Paige, AJ Lee, I think both of whom were in NXT at the time, and then like Caitlyn back when she was in her first run with the company. So you have Tamina Snuka, who's the daughter of Superfly.
Oh right, I forgot about that. Yep.
Right, and she's powerful, but she's not as athletic as her father. And you said it best. They would put her on TV, put her over using her dad's name, and then I'm glad, by the way, that they dropped calling her Tamina Snuka and just started calling her Tamina. Because I'm glad that lets her forge her own identity. But my problem is we've seen this match so many times. Both this exact match where Ember Moon is fighting one or both of them. And then we've also seen this. This is a replay of Sasha, Bayley, and like the Riot Squad. This is a replay of Alexa Bliss, Mickie James, and Ronda Rousey, or before that, whatever babyface woman they were fighting. So it's just like we have seen this match 30 times, every couple of months.
Replay.
Yeah, it's a retread of epic proportions, and it disappoints me because Ember Moon is so freaking awesome.
I know she is.
She's so cool.
Tyler doesn't see how great she is.
Don't call me out.
I think you have to go back and watch NXT. I think NXT did it, and I feel like that's half of the stars on the roster that are going up. NXT did it so much better because of smaller audience, more control over it. The audience either embraces you or doesn't. But I feel like with Ember, you have this enigmatic character, and it I don't know, she feels wasted in 2-on-1 matches.
Yeah.
I would love to see her start a feud with Sasha Banks and just let them go for 15 minutes. You know what I'm saying? Let them have a competitive wrestling match that somebody doesn't have to be a good guy or bad guy. Like Sasha can wrestle heel without being an actual heel. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or let Ember do it. Actually, Ember's probably a better babyface because athleticism lends it more to that.
Sasha has the character, and it's like more heelish.
Exactly. So let Sasha wrestle heel, but not actually necessarily be a heel. Or you know what? Screw it. Turn Sasha heel. She's a better heel, anyways.
Oh yeah. Definitely.
But what it comes down to is I've seen this match before. As good as it is, Ember, I feel like they are wasting her talent doing this 2-on-1, and she's not really allowed to be as athletic as she can be because neither Tamina nor Nia can really hang with her in that department.
I'll give her credit though. In this match with Tamina, she was doing some really good stuff.
Yeah, she reversed like a hip toss in midair.
Yeah.
Kind of landed that on her feet.
Yeah, but my point is Tamina couldn't do that. That was all on Ember.
Oh, yeah. Right.
Yeah.
You don't have that dynamicism from dynamicism? Wow, dynamicism.
Tricky.
But you don't have that from both sides.
Oh, no. No, in terms of like the spots, it was all Ember. And then at the end, she tries to go for something off the top rope, right?
Yeah, she tried to go for the Eclipse, which is a great finisher. One of my favorites.
And then Tamina catches her with a kick, hits the splash, and it's over.
Yeah.
Right. And it's just like, at least the ending like made sense to me because I'm sorry, but if you get caught and then kicked, game over. Thank you. Lights out.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. It's like you won't get enough from that.
Shout to Benjamin Shawn Michaels.
Yeah, exactly. Play the music. It's over.
Yeah, right. After that match, though, then we bring up my guy, Seth Rollins.
Ooh.
And they're recapping sort of like what happened.
With him and Dean.
Yeah, with him and Dean, their little feud. And then he goes 2-on-1 with Authors of Pain. Did you see that match, Corey? Did you catch that one?
I did. That was just... I mean, it was necessary. You had to get the tag belts off.
Yeah.
Of them. And they basically only put them on them to start this feud. So I was fine with AOP lifting it off of them and them going into what should be a really good battle with Sheamus and Cesaro.
Oh yeah.
And Seth was scrapping in that match last week.
Oh yeah, he was.
Seth's
It's
the
always
man.
good to see Seth. In the
He just goes, yeah.
Seth's such a workhorse, and I'm so glad he's back.
Oh, yeah.
I can't wait for that match with him and Nakamura. It's gonna be a great match. Hopefully.
I hope so, man. I really hope
I hope it's not like Nakamura and AJ at WrestleMania.
I gotta be honest with you. I feel like, and maybe I'm showing like my snarky side, but it's just like my worry with Nakamura versus Seth is that as decent, and I use the word decent, not good, as AJ versus Nakamura was at WrestleMania. It was supposed to be a dream match, and I feel it fell short, especially when you compare it to their previous body of work at Wrestle Kingdom.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, definitely.
when
Like,
you take the Wrestle Kingdom matches, and because there were 2 of them, if I remember correctly, and then you compare that with any of the stuff they did this year, it's good, but it doesn't hold a candle.
I know,
to
like,
Japan.
I don't know why, but New Japan just like kills it every freaking pay-per-view, every show that I watch.
I feel like they don't have to, for lack of a better term, Americanize it as much. I don't feel like it doesn't always have to be a good guy. There doesn't always have to be a bad guy. Sometimes it is kind of Ring of Honor-ish, and then it's 2 guys fighting for it. But I also feel like, you know, we didn't have to rely on, there's more protection. I feel like there's more protecting of top money stars in the WWE than I think anywhere else, really. So other than like small promotions that like have to protect their 1 or 2 big stars. But when you talk about AJ versus Nakamura, I feel like they really wanted to protect AJ, and honestly, rightfully so. Not that Nakamura is not amazing, but AJ Styles is, you know, he's
phenomenal.
AJ Styles built, right? So when you protect him though by having Nakamura like repeatedly low blow him,
Oh my god.
I would rather have seen Nakamura like kick like do the Randy Orton punt thing, you know? What I'm saying?
Yeah.
Something
like,
big.
viciously kick him in the head a bunch of times, you know, and like that sort of a thing, or like work a knee or work an elbow. Like of all the things to do, you low blow. Yes, it's a disqualification. Yes, it's a cowardly way out, but it cheapens Nakamura, who's a certified BAMF.
For real.
So just to kind of recap back to Raw here. So Corey Graves kind of tries to interview Seth and talk a little bit about his match, and then Seth kind of redirects it to his little feud with Dean, and I'm kind of just over it. But then it cuts to Dean in his little parking lot hangout with the
Oh my god, Dean Ambrose is a crazy person.
Dean Ambrose. I love Dean Ambrose.
with his barrel fire, and he just throws that vest in there, baby.
So good.
I think he was sitting on a Grand Prix or something.
You know it, baby. He drives that to every show.
All right,
Oh
Grand Prix.
god, I hope not.
And then it kind of cuts to another recap with Kurt Angle versus Drew McIntyre. Did you guys catch that match last week?
I saw bits and pieces of it. I saw like the highlights that WWE
Yeah.
put out.
Classic disrespectful match, you know, kind of thing.
Of course.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Drew's like beating on Kurt and hitting him with the angle slam, hitting him with the angle lock.
Made him tap out to the angle lock.
Made him tap, baby.
Ugh.
But we all know that Kurt can hang with him, no problem.
I was gonna say, like, I feel like they're building Kurt up to his last couple matches here.
We're talking about an Olympic hero here, Corey.
But this is Kurt Angle now, saying Kurt Angle 2006.
He can still hang.
He's so well, and my thing is this: Kurt Angle, he's in great shape.
Oh,
He
yeah.
needs to go get the cardio on, and then you let him run in, you know, a handful of 10-minute matches. WrestleMania, you make him go 15. You get the pops. You know, you let him be tired and winded at the end. Have somebody nostalgia come in for the save. Maybe it's Austin. Who knows? You know what I'm saying? Like, somebody from the past come in with the nostalgia save, and then you retire. Let him retire at WrestleMania.
Yeah, I can agree with that. I'll be a good way
And
to send him
honestly,
off.
him versus Drew at WrestleMania, like if they're going to keep building this to WrestleMania and then have him retire there, that would be really cool. Although I would prefer Angle wrestle somebody with a little more... Not that Drew isn't amazing, but Drew doesn't have the staying power, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, honestly, the ideal match for Angle would have been Trips.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was
I
thinking
can see
too.
that.
But that's not happening.
Big match, John.
Oh, you know what? That would be apropos, because that's where John Cena got his start.
Right.
Oh, that would be really good.
Ruthless aggression.
Ruthless aggression.
Yeah, that would be a cool ending. I
And
don't know.
he has to wear the green
Let's
shorts.
get back on top. Back on top. It's all night.
So
at this point, Kurt actually comes out.
no,
Oh, no. Kurt's music hits. And then you got the record scratch, and Dolph Ziggler and Drew come out.
AKA Shawn Michaels and Drew McIntyre.
Trying to be him. Tuning up the band and everything.
I think you mean discount Shawn Michaels.
With a little bit of Bret Hart flair in there.
Well, I mean, I love Dolph Ziggler, but
Yeah.
I really wish that his gimmick wasn't so close to so many other people's. And I get why he does it, because it works. And he's such a good bad guy.
He is.
I love him as the hide behind the big bad, the big bad Drew McIntyre
Mm-hmm.
bad guy. I love that aspect. But it's just a little disappointing because you know how good he can be in
Oh yeah,
matches.
he's secretly a workhorse. People talk about Seth Rollins, but Dolph Ziggler is a workhorse.
Dolph Ziggler is that OG workhorse.
They both
Oh, yeah.
grind.
Great seller too.
But it's so McIntyre can kind of come out and talk smack on Kurt again, which could kind of allude to something building with those two.
I think so. I hope so.
Because there's no point to keep going on about this and having such like a grueling match. I think it's going to be something. I mean, they don't.
Oh, yeah.
Kurt's not billed for Survivor Series, right?
No.
I don't think so.
Yeah, because he lost his match to get in
Oh, right.
to the team.
Right. Yeah.
So after Survivor Series settles, if they continue the Kurt and Drew thing, then it's definitely going to build.
Who knows? Maybe at the Royal Rumble, Kurt Angle eliminates Drew. Just putting that out there.
That could be a little.
Ooh,
Yeah, that
would
could be a
really
piece.
good.
And then as Drew's talking smack, then Finn comes out and interrupts. And I think it's so funny how like Drew is talking for Dolph. He's like, Dolph's the best in the world, so you're going to challenge him, sort of thing.
It's so good.
Yeah. And then that, of course, that brings us into the Finn versus Dolph match.
Finn versus Shawn Ziggler.
Finn versus Shawn. I mean Dolph.
Oh, God. No, guys.
Not quite.
Come
No.
on now.
When he tuned up the band, that was it.
Yeah, it's true. You're not wrong.
But before the match starts, McIntyre hits Finn with a headbutt.
Oh yeah.
And
Yep.
for the first 5 minutes of the match, he's selling it, and I really enjoyed that.
Kind of head trauma.
I think Finn is such a classic. Finn is the classic. You know what he is? He's like, in a lot of ways, he's the new Dolph Ziggler. Finn was a guy who they were really high on, and then he had one or two injuries, and that was it. They were done with him.
Yeah.
But he's this guy that puts on a show.
Yeah.
Even his entrance music and
Yeah,
the
it's-
way he comes out is just a show, and it's just
It pains me to see him being wasted. Finn Balor is amazing.
When Finn won the Universal Championship, I was so behind him. I was ready for him to go.
Push him to the moon and back, and that would have been such a successful money run for the company.
Definitely.
And I don't know why they don't go back to that well. I don't get it. I guess because Vince and all them are all about the big guys. But it's just one of those things where I'm like, Finn Balor would make you so much money. Maybe I'm crazy, but everybody I talk to is all about him. And this is to be fair. To be fair, I don't have any real connections to the WWE. I am friends with a handful of indie professional wrestlers. I know a couple of people in the industry, but nobody big or famous. So my ties with the industry are you guys and my friends that are into wrestling.
Sure, yeah.
And a couple of indie wrestlers that are some are acquaintances, a couple are close friends.
Right.
But what it comes down to, everybody I talk to, the names on people's lips are always Seth Rollins and Finn Balor. And it's just it blows my mind that you don't put the Universal title on one of them and let the money run, because I think the Universe already spoke. They're tired of Brock. And it's I get from a business perspective why the WWE wants the title on Brock, because again, UFC match we'll get into later. I'm not going to rant about that. But Finn put on such a good match tonight with Dolph and Drew, and he does it every night. Not everything's a barn burner, but you can't give his match below most of the time below 2.5, 3 stars, and that's on his worst night.
Yeah. Finn Balor has always been really good, even since
Always
I
got
saw
good
him.
spots, yeah.
Ever since I saw him in New Japan as Prince Devitt. Oh my! Starting to boil the club and everything, but I don't want to get into that. I want to focus on Raw, but Finn Balor is great. Everything about him.
I concur.
At the end of the match, or near the end, McIntyre does a little bit of influence, right? And Finn tries to hit a suicide dive onto McIntyre. Turns around, Dolph's like in his face, but he throws him out. He hits a suicide dive on both of them. And then, did you catch the ending there, guys? Mm-hmm. This was like exciting for me. It was like a little twist and turn. So, goes for the coup de grace and misses, but Dolph tries to hit a quick schoolboy, and I thought that might have been it. It looked like it, but then Finn reverses it into another sort of like or a schoolboy kind of thing,
Yeah, it was
and,
like
and gets the win.
That pinning.
Yeah, war
predicament kind of thing.
Right. I thought Dolph kind of had it, but that was a nice little ending. Mm-hmm. Yep. Then we cut to Finn backstage with Stephanie, and Stephanie invites Finn to the Survivor Series Raw team. Mm-hmm. And how do you guys feel about that? About the lineup of the team?
Hasn't Finn been on the past 3 or the past 2?
We knew it, yeah.
So it's like this.
It's the same
one, I
team.
think.
No, I mean I think Finn was a nice addition.
Yeah, Finn's great.
Finn rounds it out for me here.
I have no complaints. I just went on a huge rant about how much I love Finn Balor.
We love him.
I think we love Finn. I think it's a great addition. I think it's a consolation prize. Like, hey, we really like you, but we don't have a top spot for you, so be on the 5-on-5.
Yeah.
So I think there's a good story build out of it for him and Dolph, especially if like their implosion costs Raw the titles, or not the title, but like the match.
Yeah.
That could lead to all sorts of implications with Braun Strowman going after them, which by the way would further the Braun Strowman versus Drew McIntyre and Dolph Ziggler feud.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
But if you think about it, like they could totally cost Raw the match by like doing the whole Jericho Edge thing and leaving. Mm-hmm. Or like attacking Finn or Strowman and or Strowman, and be like, we'll take care of this ourselves, and then getting their butts kicked.
Yeah, I can see that happening.
And then we get to more backstage stuff of McIntyre trying to complain about Finn being on the team, and it's the classic like, oh, the team, hates each other, they're falling apart. How are they gonna make it through Survivor Series kind of thing? And then you cut to Ronda backstage, and she's kind of talking smack on Becky, saying that she was learning how to do arm bars when Becky was being a millennial, basically. Did you guys? Yeah. So that was kind of cool, kind of building there. I'm excited to see that match for sure. Mm-hmm. And then some more talking. So we got the Riot Squad, and they're addressing breaking Jim the Anvil's glasses.
Yeah, last week.
Making Natalya cry and spit everywhere.
Oh my God, yeah.
Sad.
I said it.
It's a memento.
Many times. I love the Riot Squad. I love everything they do. So I'm just going to leave that there.
Yeah, they're definitely the team to watch. I get excited every time they hit the ring. What do you think of the Riot Squad, Corey?
I think they are 3 incredibly talented ladies. I think there needs to be women's tag team titles. I think Liv Morgan. It's Liv and Shayna Baszler? Or no,
that's Sarah Logan.
Sarah Logan, there we go, sorry. So Liv and Sarah Logan need to go and be a tag team, and Ruby Riott would be better served being a solo act. Mm-hmm. I don't want to compare her to anybody else because she is so unique, but I think you guys know the comparison I want to draw. CM Punk.
Yeah, I think so too. Pipe bomb.
I don't even need her to do a pipe bomb. But and again, I'm not talking about the look, although admittedly their looks are in some ways similar. Mm-hmm. But I'm talking about the attitude, that flair when she talks, and when you know that she kind of believes the material that she's been given to talk about, and when she's put her own personal spin on it, she captivates. And I don't think she's as polished as Punk was. But I definitely think that given time and space, she could develop into that kind of personality. And I think that's what the women's division sorely is lacking. Because you have, the badasses in Becky Lynch and Ronda Rousey. You have the conniving heels and the Bellas and Alexa Bliss and Mickie James and Alicia Fox. You have the strong, silent, badasses in Ember Moon and Nia and Tamina. What you don't have is that
voice of the voiceless.
Rowdy Roddy Piper, that CM Punk just talker. That person that comes out, talks a little truth, talks a little smack, and then backs it up.
Mm-hmm. I did like how she did this, though. So she kind of seemed apologetic about breaking the glasses at first, and then she just makes this sinister face and just kind of yeah. And then Natalya has a new song. Did you?
Oh, yeah. It was...
She sang?
Well...
She got a new entrance music.
Yeah.
No, I didn't didn't catch that at all.
It was like slightly different after the initial guitar riff or whatever.
Yeah, it seemed modified to me. It definitely seemed different. But then
Yeah.
she kind of runs in from behind and tries to attack the Riot Squad, but of course gets overpowered. And then the Riot Squad hits her with sort of like a weak heart attack. Did you see that? The timing was a little cool, but
What are you gonna do?
yeah, right.
Especially because that's not a move that's normally in their repertoire.
Right, exactly. Just kind of adding a little insult to it.
Exactly, insult to injury, so to speak.
Yeah. But then we get our battle royal again. Take two, baby. And we actually get a winner this time. So that actually went a lot faster than I thought. But I guess it helps move along when it's the case where if one teammate gets eliminated, then the team is out.
I have a question for the two of you
Oh, yeah.
about this battle royal. And by the way, folks, obviously spoilers.
Right.
Because I don't want to rant too much on this. I want to hear your guys' opinion.
Sure.
What do you guys feel about it being Bobby Roode and Chad Gable over the Ascension? Like that specifically, not the whole match, not Bobby Roode and Chad Gable winning the whole thing. What do you feel about making the Ascension once again like the bridesmaids, never the brides?
Ascension never really clicked for me, Corey. Like, I don't know exactly what it is. Maybe I don't know enough of their history, but since day one of them on Raw, they just never really grabbed my attention for some reason.
I always liked the Ascension back in NXT when they first came in. They started like just beating down everyone, Fall Man, winning the NXT championship. And I liked them when they first came in to the main roster, but when they just started bearing the Ascension, I kind of lost interest. And now that they're building them back up more as like more dominant and not just first people throwing out a battle royal, like actually have them in the battle royal more, I really like that.
And Gable hit the moonsault on one of the Ascension members, right?
Insane.
It was
Yeah.
like the neckbreaker moonsault. Oh my god, that was great.
Yeah, that was the moment of the match for me.
I swear to you, if they break up Chad Gable and Bobby Roode prematurely, I'm going to be really upset because those two could be really good as tag champions.
Oh, yeah.
And like a long running tag. I don't know if they're like New Day levels. Like I don't want to compare them to the existing like either tag champs or former tag champs, but they are so entertaining as individuals and together as a team. They just need more time to work on their chemistry. And
Yes.
it worries me that because Chad and Bobby are both amazing singles competitors,
Yeah.
I worry that they're going to hurriedly split the team and make it like a one-on-one feud, which, by the way, would be amazing.
Oh, yeah.
That's not
Great
necessarily
workers.
what I want to see. I want to see them become the tag champs and have a good long reign. Although with AOP on top, I don't know. I don't think. I think Chad and Bobby get one or two shots at them, and then I think they break up because Bobby Roode gets tired of losing.
They've got this pure energy that they could just capture and turn it into tag team magic, but
Exactly. And just Bobby's entrance paired with Chad Gable's just like, for lack of a better term, kind of like goofy exuberance. His just excitement to be there. And it's just like, I know how good he is, and I know he can be the cocky heel too, because he did it with Shelton Benjamin. But I love his just kind of over exuberance when he's with Bobby Roode. I think it's a really refreshing sight to see. Like, he doesn't have to be this like cool, like character. He doesn't have to be this sniveling, like conniving heel. He just gets to be himself, or what feels like himself.
Yeah.
I really like that about those two.
I wasn't feeling them at first, but then when they were doing the entrance and just when he was going for the glorious and just Chad Gable popped up in front of him and said it, that made me really start enjoying it. I was like, oh man, this is great.
to be honest, though, the saddest moment of the match for me was right at the beginning when one-man band, what's his name?
Heath Slater.
Heath Slater, yes.
Mr.
He got
Kids.
out, and then Rhino had to sadly walk out with him. Rhino just sadly walks out. Rhino needs to hit that gore, baby. Win it up.
I know. It makes me so sad. This is so good.
I know.
Just sadly
I've
walks
always
out.
been a Rhino fan.
You have, yeah, that's true. After the match, though, we get a little knock on the door. Brock Lesnar, are you home? Paul Heyman knocks on the door. Commercial break. Brock and Paul make their way out to talk about Brock and AJ too. I always love Paul Heyman, like his promos, the way he speaks, and then Brock just kind of chills there. What do you think, Corey? You're over it?
No. Paul Heyman, if I ever get the chance, I don't ever want to be a wrestler. And don't get me wrong, I would love to be in as good a shape as they are in. But I have
Don't we
no
all?
interest in taking all the bumps and doing all the traveling. But I would love to be a manager that, if I was even half as good on a mic as Paul Heyman is, I would spend the rest of my life finding out a way to how to use that. Because he's so entertaining. And yes, he is saying a lot of the same things he said before, but it's just so entertaining to listen to him orate.
Suplexity.
It's so good. And he just, the way he enunciates.
Yeah.
Just, oh my God.
You can tell his dad was a lawyer.
Oh, absolutely. Paul Heyman is such a personality that it makes up, like, that's the only reason I can tolerate Brock being champion, is because that means whenever Brock shows up, Paul Heyman is going to show up, and Paul Heyman's going to do most of the talking, and I am 1,000% okay with that.
Did you catch the line with the Hotel California? Where he's like, Google it, bitches. I'm not here to educate you.
Google it, bitches.
Oh, man.
No one else gets to say stuff like that.
It's true. It's true, though.
Did you guys expect Jinder Mahal to come out?
No.
I expected a jobber to come out. I didn't expect I didn't expect that.
Yeah. But oh my gosh. I don't know exactly which one of his boys he threw, but Brock threw one of Jinder's boys straight on his neck like twice. That scares me every time I see that, Corey.
No comment.
Oh,
I know they can take bumps, but that scares me.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, there's something therapeutic about just watching Brock Lesnar
Pick people up by their belt.
just like destroy manhandle people. I just like that for some reason.
Yeah. I did like that little spot, though. I mean, I do. I love seeing Brock. I just don't like him being, like, the champion. I like seeing a fighting champion.
Mm-hmm.
And,
I agree.
I mean, it worked for a while, but...
It worked for a while, but not for like a year.
Yeah,
And then
like saying he's the longest reigning champion, like putting that out there, like he
3
had like
matches.
5 matches, like a year.
Yeah. And then we get Bobby Lashley. And he's
out with his man.
he got those great poses. He got his boy Leo talking him up.
Oh, Leo.
And then we get the strum of the E minor. The chord we love to hear.
What does WWE stand for?
Walk with Elias.
Love it.
He's
I
so
love
over,
it
dude.
So much.
Yeah.
It was so great when he was like, he said
So,
he called Child Protective Services on Leo
there are
Rush.
times that I force like my father to watch wrestling with me
Uh-huh.
because I have nothing better to do, and he kind of gets he enjoys it, like in terms of the athleticism, just some of the crazy stuff they can do.
Yeah.
But we love Elias.
Yeah.
We loved him as a heel and kind of the way he ran down cities. We loved. I still remember when they first introduced him as the Drifter. Like that's when we fell in love with him because he would just randomly show up comedically in the backgrounds of other people's interviews and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And it was so good, and I'm so glad that he caught on. And the other thing that I want to give him props for, his guitar playing. Now, I used to play guitar. I was never very good, but I played. And his guitar playing from when he started versus now, it's so much better. Oh, my God.
That's his job now.
I know he has to play the guitar for a living.
My huge moment was when he was in Seattle a couple months ago. And he made that comment, and the whole crowd was just like...
This talking
Just
about
hate-
Seattle Supersonic going to Oklahoma City.
That was a huge moment for me, like falling in love with him, because he's someone that grew on me. I'm usually like kind of about the music related guitar guys who
You
do
don't
it.
like the Sinister Songster?
I'm just, but Elias grew on me over time, and now I'm a huge fan. I'm walking with him.
As a Cubs fan and as a Chicago fan, as I have family in Chicago, you know, when they were at Chicago and his shot at the Cubs for failing to get into the World Series, I was salty, but you know that's when he's doing it right, is when you're so salty.
Right.
It's like he can't do anything wrong at this point.
I was going to say, I can't be super mad at him because that was a really good shot.
And we watch it for like the crowd reaction. That's a huge part of it.
Oh, yeah.
So then we're moving on here. Do you guys have any standout moments from that match? Nothing really clicks when I'm thinking about it.
I feel like
Just the finish, really, for me.
Yeah, it's a spinning wheel. They are continuing a storyline, and not much more.
Yeah, right. But I was a big fan of Bobby back in the day, so it's always a treat watching him. He's a superstar. Him and Elias.
He really changed a lot. I'll give him that.
Well, and I like that they're not having Bobby rely so much on his. Bobby got away with the whole "I'm a hard worker." And again, I don't want to take anything away from him and his, what he's done for us in the past, and in terms of service, in terms of other things that he's done. But I don't think, as a talker, he's not bad, but he can struggle at times. And I think that when you put him with somebody like Lio Rush and really let him be not quite Brock Lesnar, but you let him kind of tap into this arrogant side and let somebody like talk him up and just kind of have him react to that. It's so good to see
I generally like that, yeah.
Different. It's different than anything we've seen him do before. Like, he's been a bad guy before, and he's been an anti-hero before, and he's been I hate him as a babyface.
Yeah.
I just want to die. But when you see him like this, it's so entertaining. Plus, again, Lio Rush is entertaining. It's 2 for 1 there. But I don't know. I could go on and on and on. I really like the changes they've made with Bobby, and I'm really glad that they found a way to revitalize what frankly was floundering after his kind of bum feud with Roman. Like, not that it was either of their faults. It's just two guys who aren't exactly skilled on the mic going back and forth at each other. It's just not.
That reminds me of just Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns without Paul Heyman. That's what I got from that.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, there's it's hard to build tension when they're both kind of on the mic.
Yeah.
But this match was, though, for the last remaining spot on the Survivor Series Raw team, and the way it ended was Elias was kind of taking it to Bobby outside the ring, throws him back in. When he's about to get in near like a 9 count, Leo holds him back so he can't get in the ring, and then Lashley wins by countout.
I like that they protected Elias like that. Mm-hmm. Like I said, talking about protection earlier, I think that's a great way to protect. It's a great way to show that Bobby is not afraid of doing that kind of thing to win.
Yeah.
And it's a great way to protect Elias from actually taking a pinfall or submission.
Right. Yeah, it was a smart little move. It was kind of funny, too, like popping out of the ring.
Hands grabbing him.
But other than that, yeah, the match kind of flew by for me. But we got to know who the last member was of the team, so that was cool.
True fact.
And then we get to kind of like probably my favorite part of the show. It kind of kicks it off. So Alexa Bliss comes out to announce the last...
Or her whole team.
The whole team, first of all, but then the last member, she kind of keeps us a surprise. And she says, Bayley versus Sasha Banks will decide the last member, and the winner basically gets a spot. So I'm like on board. Okay, these are 2 good picks. Kind of don't really fit the heel vibe, but
yeah, the team they have there.
But I didn't even really think about that.
Then again, Natalya doesn't really either.
True. So it could have worked. And this was probably the most intense match of the night, wouldn't you say?
Oh yeah, definitely hard hitting, action packed, just great match. Sasha and Bayley are great together.
And they were using the ring as like the weapon the whole time. So they were like throwing each other into the turnbuckles, using the apron, that sort of thing. Just like a tough match. And I'm so behind it. Like, I'm ready to see. I even said like I think Sasha's going to be the pick to David earlier. And then sort of out of nowhere, Alexa Bliss jumps into and sort of interrupts the match, right? And then at some point, the whole team comes in to mess with the match. Yeah, and I was trying to follow. Did you catch anything specific before?
Actually, no, I did not.
Yeah, I think we were trying to hype up on coffee, Corey.
I really liked how this ended. I'm glad that they did it, but again,
it was a twist.
It was a great twist, by the way. Mm-hmm. And I don't like. I know I said I was going to go heel on a lot of the show. I agree with you guys that I like the way that it ended. But guess what we saw last year? We saw SmackDown invade Raw.
Yeah.
That's what we're going to see tomorrow night on SmackDown. Mm-hmm. Raw take their revenge.
Right.
So it's just like, and you know what? I hope they do. I hope Raw beats them down, and it's an indicator, because you know how it is. The person who wins on the go-home show is the person that loses at the pay-per-view. So I really hope that Raw comes in and embarrasses them so they lose at the pay-per-view, because SmackDown needs it more than Raw does.
Definitely.
Yeah. But I will admit, like, I was really hyped up when they picked Ruby Riott as the last member.
Oh my god, yeah, that was such a great swerve. Oh, BT Dubs, all that hard work you ladies just did.
Yeah.
We're gonna beat you up and tell you it was for nothing.
Oh, it was.
We have our pick.
Alexa Bliss, that is my favorite.
And then there was probably like 5 minutes left of the show, And I was like, I guess this is the end, right?
Yeah.
And then it cuts to Becky Lynch giving an armbar to Ronda Rousey, and I really didn't expect that.
Yeah, that.
Oh,
and
man.
To me, that was the part that I kind of wish they had left it there instead of I was griping about earlier, where it's like, oh, we saw them, we saw Raw fight Smack, and it's I get it, it's a go home show. You have to hype the pay per view. You have to do something, but just to watch, I wish they had just followed like Becky Lynch and Ronda fighting it out for 5 minutes, and at the very end have like the Raw women's locker room come to chase Ronda off or Becky off of Ronda.
Yeah.
And have Becky make an escape like with some of the SmackDown women watching her back. Like I think that would have been way more interesting than the whole she's beating her up, she comes out to the ring and then the girl
Classic battle, yeah.
Yeah, and it's just like because that's just so go back to the Attitude Era, you've seen it 1,000 times. Whereas I think it's more interesting to watch the two champions fight than it is. Frankly, the 5-on-5 doesn't interest me as much as the champion versus champion.
Oh yeah,
Right.
Becky Lynch. Like I liked what Becky Lynch did and how she handled herself. I mean, even though we did see this, it was like Becky Lynch was like the main focus when she came out by herself. I was expecting the whole locker room to come out SmackDown, but when she came out, I was like, oh god, is she really gonna get in there?
Right. Now, one thing that stuck out to me before that, though, is the look of, like, anger and aggression on Ronda Rousey's face. Like, she really, really sold that. That was incredible.
It blows my mind how far, because I get Ronda's only been training since, like, this year. I don't think she's been doing, I mean, obviously, MMA and stuff like that, but I don't think in terms of professional wrestling that she's been doing it beyond this year, if I remember correctly, because of all the movies and commitments she had.
Yeah.
So to see her come out and just sell the way that she sells and perform the way that she's still a little green. Like there's some women I don't necessarily need to see her in a long match with a Sasha or Charlotte. But for her to be as good as she is at some of the things that I frankly don't see some of the veterans doing. Like again, as you guys said, selling. Holy crap, she's so good.
Right.
Oh yeah, definitely.
That was another standout moment. I mean, the tail end of Raw was pretty good for me, but I just remember really feeling that. She really sold that.
Yeah,
that was
like
incredible.
when she came out to help out the Raw women, and she was like holding her arm and using her other arm to do stuff, like her
Hip
her
tosses
selling,
and yeah.
it really makes me buy into everything that's happening between them.
And I didn't catch the exact moment, but at some point, Becky Lynch's nose got busted open. She was covered in blood. Her hair was covered in blood.
Was it above her nose or her actual nose itself?
I think it was like, it was her nose because like
It was definitely coming from her nose.
yeah.
Okay.
So she must have got
She
popped.
probably got caught with like a nail or something, yeah.
They're definitely going to use that clip. Like that was just,
Oh, yeah.
it just looked perfect.
It like seeing Becky like that. Oh man, that was amazing.
Reminded me of like Joey Mercury getting his nose busted open.
Like it really.
Yeah, it's like,
That like I know it wasn't intentional, but like it really sold the fact that she is the man, and I really enjoyed that.
I really like how they are treating Becky Lynch's character. Dave, you said it best. Like, I love the fact that she's the man because it ties right into the Ric Flair. To be the man, you have to beat the man. Well, she did.
Oh,
She
yeah.
did twice, and it's just like, I'm so happy. I really, really hope they get Becky the win over Ronda.
Yeah, I
and
do.
hope they rematch at WrestleMania.
Because like Ronda hasn't been beaten yet, and if she loses to Becky, I think that'll be perfect. I think that's a great way to break her streak.
Well, and I also think it makes sense because Becky is, the opposing show's champion. And then honestly, going to tie this into the beginning of the show, it goes back around. Stephanie now can like kind of bully Ronda and be that heel manager personality where she can be like, oh, well, clearly I need to give opportunities to my other women to take that title off of you because you couldn't get it done.
Yeah,
against,
like she failed.
Right. So I just think that opens a world of it opens Ronda as a character to overcome adversity, and it opens up. It basically makes her vulnerable without taking an errant pinfall or submission against someone who she's already beaten.
Yeah.
She would be losing to a champion, but it could have Steph get sicked on her, and it could have like other women like try and take advantage of the fact that, oh well, Becky beat you, so we could beat you.
Yeah. It makes her seem not as like the baddest woman on the planet, but more as a superstar.
Yeah.
Yeah. A Raw filled with twists and turns for sure. Getting us hyped up for Survivor Series. Place your bets for tomorrow if the Raw women's team is going to interrupt SmackDown. I think 100%.
Yeah, there's going to be something.
Yes, 100%.
I hope they change it up and do something a little different, but that's probably what's going to happen.
I agree.
I mean, I can see him like Stephanie thinking like, well, you attacked us, we're going to attack tenfold. So they send the whole roster, like the men and women, and just attack.
Yeah.
I think they bank a
I can
lot.
see Stephanie doing that.
And I think they bank a lot on this being one of the few pay-per-views where both shows are together, and that should be enough, you know? But,
I always enjoyed Survivor Series.
Awesome. Any final notes before we wrap up here?
I have a question for you.
Sure, yeah, what's
So
up?
I'm going to read to you the matches as they stand right now for Survivor Series. I want two things from you gentlemen, and I'll give you mine.
All right.
I want what you think will be the match of the night,
Gotcha.
and I want what you think will be the dud of the night. So here are the matches.
Lay it out.
Ronda Rousey versus Becky Lynch. Brock Lesnar versus AJ Styles. Seth Rollins versus Shinsuke Nakamura. The AOP versus The Bar. Team Raw, which, by the way, is Dolph Ziggler, Drew McIntyre, Braun Strowman, and Finn Balor, and
Bobby Lashley.
there we go, Bobby Lashley, versus Team SmackDown, which is Miz, Daniel Bryan, Shane McMahon, Rey Mysterio, and Samoa Joe. You also have Team Raw versus Team SmackDown in the women, where it is Naomi, Carmella, Sonya Deville, Asuka, and let's face it, it's probably going to be Charlotte Flair, versus the women that we already mentioned. And then you also have Team Raw versus Team SmackDown in tag teams, as well as, and this will probably be on the pre-show, Buddy Murphy versus Mustafa Ali for the Cruiserweight Championship. What is your best match of the night? What is your worst match of the night? Predictions.
Tyler, would you like to go first?
Sure, I'll go first. So this is kind of biased, but I think that Seth Rollins and Shinsuke are going to kill it. I think they're going to put a lot into that match, and I think there's going to be some exciting moments, exciting twists. So I'm looking forward to that match. I'm definitely more interested in the women's tag match. I think the men's SmackDown versus Raw match, the main match, is going to be a dud for sure. And I know they put a lot into those matches, but I just feel like it's going to be. I really don't have much to add on why. I'm not crazy about the teams. I feel like it's a replay, like you were saying, and I'm not going to get excited about it. I think they're going to bank. I think they're going to bank so much on just having these guys in the ring together, and I feel like it's just going to be a dud for me for sure. David, what do you think?
Match of the night, I'm going to say AJ Styles versus Brock Lesnar too, because I really enjoyed the first one a lot more than I thought I would, and it was very surprising. And I think AJ Styles and Brock Lesnar have a really good chemistry together, and I think they can put on a great show with AJ Styles just being like that quick-moving technical worker, and just Brock just being that powerhouse, and just seeing them again go at it. And I just think there'd be a really good match together. And for the dud, it's a hard one because I like all the matches. I really do. Like I'm interested in all of them, but I'm gonna have to say, as much as I hate it, AOP versus The Bar,
I was thinking that one too.
because I like AOP and I like The Bar, but I think AOP is just a little too green for me.
That's fair. It felt like they got rushed through NXT pretty quick.
Yeah. I mean, I like them in NXT. I like them in I think they're in War Games. I like them in that.
Yeah.
And I know they're good. They're the good powerhouses, but I just think Cesaro and Sheamus are in a completely another league. And I think the greenness of AOP is going to really show in that match.
That's fair. So, for me, I think the match of the night, and by the way, Dave, I agree with you in that I think Brock Lesnar versus AJ Styles 2 will be very good. But because I'm like 90% sure that I think that Brock Lesnar is going to win, I'm already not interested. And again, I'm basing that assumption on the fact that I feel like they're going to protect Brock Lesnar until after the UFC fight with Daniel Cormier. Mm-hmm. I really, really do. So any Brock Lesnar match I'm not interested in, mainly because I feel like they're just going to protect him in some way or another. Any win that comes off Brock before he wins or loses to Daniel Cormier is going to come at like a cheap cost. You know what I'm saying? He's somebody will have to do something to him to keep him looking strong.
Yeah.
Whereas I think though the actual like match of the night that I think I'm going to enjoy the most will be Ronda Rousey versus Becky Lynch.
Yeah,
I think
that was a
I don't
close
think
second
it's
for
gonna
me.
be an overly long match, but I think it's going to be a barn burner. I think you have Becky who can absolutely have a good match with like most women on the roster. I think Ronda is good enough to hold her own and let Becky kind of lead the pace and have her moments. And I think those two are going to tell a really compelling story together. Whereas I wasn't as excited last year about the women's championship match, like the SmackDown Women's Champion versus the Raw Women's Champion. Yeah. I think for Dud, I gotta be honest with you guys. I'm not super excited about the men's 5-on-5, but I really think it's the women's 5-on-5 that I just can't find passion for.
Okay.
Because I don't really, other than like, I actually love most of the women's roster.
Yeah.
I think Sonya Deville is amazing, and I think she's underrated because she's still, doing kind of like the tag team, like post, group stage thing.
I can see her being the female.
Phenomenal. Asuka is so misused, and then obviously Charlotte Flair. But the women's team, for Raw, Alexa Bliss isn't in this match. I don't care. I don't see the athleticism is all on the SmackDown side.
Yeah.
Not really on Raw's side. And I think it's just going to be, we're going to see big splashy spots and then we're going to see powerhouse grinding spots. And I think it just has the potential to drag because of that.
Mm-hmm. I can agree with that. As much as I love Ruby Riott and all them on Raw, it's just, it's kind of, I feel like the SmackDown has more to offer. And I just don't see him clashing well.
And I really wish Ruby Riott would go to SmackDown. Back to SmackDown.
To the Brock match, though, before you brought up the UFC point, Corey, I was thinking Brock's in a totally different position now. This is sort of a backup plan that he's the champion. So I thought they would be more interesting with him. I thought they would be more willing to make him lose. And if that were the case, and he could actually lose, I think him versus AJ would be awesome. But if you think they're really going to push him to win, especially protect the UFC brand kind of thing or WWE brand, it seems like a dud to me for sure too.
Yeah, I see him having Brock Lesnar win because just think about the build up to the actual fight with him in DC. It's DC can just say, well, you got beat by that one guy right there. Just call him out. They want to make Brock just look as strong as possible, just for hyping up the pay-per-view fight and everything. I could just see that happen.
And again, this is me basing it on assumptions / past behaviors from the UFC, the WWE in regards to Brock in the UFC. But from a money-making perspective, it doesn't make sense for them not to support him and make him look strong. I am just sad that it has to come at the expense of AJ Styles.
For sure. And that's how I felt last year. It just stinks because that was a great match and AJ deserved the win.
But I still think it's going to be a great match.
You know what? I really hope they surprise me because, like I said, I'm 90% sure because of my assumption that this is what's going to happen. I hope they shock me and they put AJ over and I'm just like, oh my God, can you believe that?
Yeah, or some kind of obscure ending or something. I don't know.
Or who's a superstar out that could return and mess with that and start a feud with Brock? Is there anybody out right now that could come back?
Not anyone big. My best bet would be Kevin Owens. That's about it.
Yeah.
Actually, you know what? That could be kind of cool to have Kevin Owens and AJ Styles feud if Kevin came back to SmackDown.
Oh yeah, just have him cost AJ the match. Yeah, that would be great. That would make them both look good.
Protect AJ and basically Kevin Owens hits AJ, kind of blinds him or kicks him in the head or takes out a knee, and then Brock just picks him apart because it's fucking Brock.
Yeah. Right. Then you're protecting AJ because he got beat up by whoever, and then Brock still has the championship. It still has the win, so.
Right. So, and again, I don't know if Owens is even close to returning, but you know what I'm saying? Win somebody like that. And I think that's the way you have to go to get either A, get AJ the win, or B, have AJ lose and protect him as well. So I just, like I said, because I kind of know where that match is heading, I'm not as interested as I am in the Becky Lynch versus Ronda Rousey because I honestly don't know. Mm-hmm. Because they don't have incentive necessarily to protect Becky, or I'm sorry, not Becky, Ronda. Then they absolutely have incentive to protect Brock Lesnar.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's a good place to wrap it up there. That was such a great talk. Corey, thank you so much for joining in. You added so much to the conversation.
Thank you guys for having me. Thank you for letting me talk and rant
Oh,
all
yeah.
over the place. I really appreciate it.
This is the forum for that. We're wrestling fans, real fans, talking turkey. So, and my perspective is a little different. I think you and David have very similar sort of perspectives and background. You have more of a background of like someone coming up, and I'm sort of just like tuning into Raw every week, kind of watching what's unfolding. So it's nice to have
That's fair.
perspectives like that. But again, thank you so much, Corey, for adding so much meat to the sandwich here. David, thank you.
Oh yeah, thank you, Corey.
And guys, we're kind of getting started with the show, so leave a comment if you of how you can make the show better. Hopefully, we can get Corey back on here. And remember, always go for gold. Thanks for watching.
Go for gold.
Woo!